Well, how y'all are this afternoon? This is your buddy George Jones over at the Bergen Gun Range for my next installment on, hey, let's do something silly. Some guys just left out here a minute ago, and I was going to make a video, and they said, boy, the wind starts blowing just as soon as I sit down in this chair. It wasn't dead calm about 10 minutes ago, and now the wind's blowing 40 miles an hour. And wind has an effect on audio, but we're going to keep right on going. Some fellas left out here a few minutes ago and says, "You going to do something stupid today?" I said, "No, I'm going to do something useful and meaningful today and convey information and possibly entertain. I don't do stupid stuff on my channel. If you want to see stupid stuff, go over to Demolition Ranch or Kentucky Ballistics." Today we have a blast from the past on indoor training. We have this. Now they say they still make these, but I'm like, I haven't seen them in years for sale. This is Speer Target 38. And Speer Target 38 comes in two pieces: the projectiles and the cartridge cases. And they come out, oh, they're 50 or so in a little box loose, and this is what they look like when they're assembled and ready to go. So what this cartridge is a plastic cartridge case with a plastic projectile that's somewhat solid, but it has a little hole up in it. And the only thing that powers this is that one's not seated good, a large pistol primer. That's all it's got going, pushing it along, a large pistol primer. So I got to thinking, Ed found these in a box of stuff that they were going through where we're closing out the store to go in a different direction with the retail stuff. So we decided to make a video with it, talk about it. That's what the projectile looks like when it's not loaded. Just this little plastic dingus right there. And it has a little hole in it. And we're going to talk about that in a minute on a different level. And here's the cartridge case, one that's already been fired, that I fired this morning. You know. So, what's it good for? Well, I tell you what, it's good for indoor training. Is exactly what it's good for. It's exactly what it was meant to do. So I'm going to get me a good solid 38 that I'm familiar with out here, and we're going to try it. I've got a paper target up down here at, 7 yards, 6 yards, and we're going to give it a tritation. We're going to try a fight and see how it actually works. Now, I've never shot one of these things with a paper target. I have no idea what's going to happen. And I'm going to say it's not going to be terribly loud, so we're going to try it without ear mufflization. I'm going to use the good old Speed 6 to tank of 2-inch revolvers. If I can get it fit in there. Got a little mouth of the cartridge case is a little big. I'm going to put about 6 in there. And I'm going to try it and see how it works at 6 or 7 yards. Got them in there? Yeah. Cylinder spin, a little bit, kind of. Yeah, maybe the primers are a little high. I'll see if I can get one in the battery. All right, we'll back her up here where you can see me making a fool out of myself. And I can adjust these ear gizmos where it ain't shrinking my head. I'll lay her up here just like this and see if I can hit that bullseye with it. Well, yeah, I hit the bullseye at the 7 o'clock position. Yeah.
Same hole.
Same hole. This might be a good thing to get a new shooter used to the concept of firing a gun and studying steady hole factors and trigger control and so forth. This might actually be a good idea. Not. And the cartridge cases are stuck in it. There we go. Dump them guys out. Put them back in the plastic bag. I'm going to shoot the rest of them up that we've loaded without these, because you don't need these. You do not need these. So this would be a good tool to use to train. Oh, there's the dummy I made up. That's no good. This would be a good tool to use to watch a new shooter handle their trigger, handle their gun, and so forth, because it ain't loud and it's not scary, and you know, it's serviceable for training. Good idea for training. And when you lost all the bullets, you could put paraffin in the end of them. It'd probably work just as good.
Or you shoot them in a box.
You shoot them in a box.
Shoot them in concrete or a cardboard box.
All right. Well, you probably use a paper target on the front of an open cardboard box, because the box would capture your bullets. Now, before we go down here and look at that target, which looks kind of rugged, like it's been shot with dum-dum bullets. So, a guy who invented the second chance body armor, come up with the idea of the second chance body armor. Back in the late 1980s, early 1990s, came up with a concept with these things. And what he did was, he started loading these projectiles into a 357 Magnum case, or a 38 special case, at plus P loading. Now, the result was, at 100 yards, if you could see it coming, you could catch it in your hand. But at 4 feet, it would explode when it come in contact with an assailant's body, and it would blow a wound canal 4 inches wide and about 4 inches deep, unless it hit a bone. Absolutely tremendous incapacitating capability. The ammunition was called Thunder Zap, and it was on the market for a few years, and the Sky Marshals adopted it until such time as they moved to automatics. It would not penetrate a jet airliner from the inside out. It was safe to shoot at close range against a hijacker or an assailant on an airplane. And that's what actually became of this bullet eventually. Now, you can still buy these in 38 caliber and 44 caliber and even 44 Magnum caliber. but I haven't seen them for sale in some time. But if you're in a gun store and he's got some old stuff in there and you see these things for sale, remember the cartridge case comes in one box and the projectile comes in another, you know, and you got to get both boxes or you ain't got nothing. But pick them up. They're reusable, they're reloadable, the bullets are reusable as long as you don't fire them at a concrete wall, you know, and they make good training. Let's see how well it trained me. Well, I don't know how well it trained me, but we're going to find out. Let's go down here and look in our low-tech manner. So this was 12 rounds. I think they're all in there. They tore that paper up pretty good, but to tell you the truth, they do shoot. Looks like there's 2 or 3 connecting bullseyes. So, is it serviceable for training? Yeah. Yeah, it is. What we would call meaningful and useful. All right then. The old camadameter back up there where it goes. What we would call meaning and useful. All right then, that's about the size of it for this installment on, hey, I got this old used, whatchamacallit. Like to take Sheriff I, commentate and subscribe. Leave me a $1 in the Patreon box if you want to, and if you don't, I'll keep right on making content for you. Be kind to your neighbor. Be nice to everyone you meet, but have a plan. Bye now.